The ALGS International Scrims are back, and Falcons have already asserted their dominance on everyone. Here's their secret. So welcome back to the Apex Morning Shift, your #1 ALGS morning show on the planet. That is a fact. Now, before we get started, I know we didn't upload an episode last week, and that's because I had scripted the whole episode based on the Tap Strafe nerf and how it's going to affect ALGS. But then, just as I was editing the video, Respawn announced that they were reverting the changes back to the old Tap Strafe. So yeah, episode cooked. But Tap strafing is back, thank goodness, because the entire community was in shock and we're not very happy with it. So Respawn. But anyway, let's get right into this week's video. So after a nice 2-week break for the holidays, the ALGS International Scrims are back. With ALGS Champs on January 29th in Sapporo, Japan, teams are back into practicing and getting ready for the biggest tournament of the year. So starting this week, scrims hosted by Oversight Esports will run from Monday through Saturday, 2 blocks of scrims each day, since there's 4 groups, Group A, B, C, and D. And the winners were Aurora, Crazy Raccoon, Virtus Pro, Moist, Virtus Pro again, Lone Sharks, Furia, Moist, Falcons, Liquid, X-MKers, X-Makers? It's X-Makers, right? Yeah, it's X-Makers. X-Makers and Falcons again. Now, I've taken the liberty of compiling these scrims results into an average points per scrim leaderboard to sort of give us a better idea of how these teams are performing in the first week of international scrims. Falcons first place, Lone Sharks second, Moist third, Liquid fourth, and TSM 5th. Now, for those of you who didn't know, there was an update on January 7th that brought some interesting changes to some legends. In terms of meta, Gibraltar and Newcastle were left untouched, so every team still runs both those legends. But it's the third legend that's changed. Before the changes, it was mainly Catalyst or Pathfinder. Those were the 2 legends that were interchangeable between teams. And now, Mirage and Loba were heavily buffed, which increased their pick rate in these scrims. Teams like Alliance, Moist, Team Liquid, and TSM all gave Mirage a try on World's Edge. And a lot of these teams also gave Loba a try, but mostly on Stormpoint. And she is so strong on a map like Stormpoint because of how the terrain is designed. Her recent buff now gives her 2 bracelets, which allows her to be a lot more aggressive when it comes to fights. So yes, she is a support legend, but a very aggressive support legend. Now, one thing that I'm sure pro teams are not a fan of, but for us viewers, super entertaining, is seeing Mirage ults in bubble fights. Super confusing, but as a team that has a Mirage, fighting a team that doesn't have one, it gives you a significant advantage in bubble fights. And as you may know, bubble fights are usually engaged with shotguns, which means that outcomes of fights can be decided like this. 1 pump can change everything. Now, looking at the pick rates for the legends on the last scrim block of the week, Catalyst is still the most popular 3rd legend, but Rampart, for some reason, picked up popularity since the update, even if she didn't get a buff in any way. And I don't think it's a result of Mirage and Loba's being played more. I just think the teams are starting to realize how powerful Rampart is in a Newcastle meta, because Sheila is the perfect counter to a Newcastle wall, which is exactly what Falcons have been running. On Stormpoint, World's Edge, and E-District, Hal has been on Newcastle, Zero on Gibraltar, and Waltzy on Rampart. This is a team that at first struggled a lot with the support meta, but now seem a lot more comfortable, and they seem very in sync on their respective legends.
Popping it! Low gun! The guys are really low! It's 2 squads, jump in! Give me! Alright. Nice.
Now, yes, you can argue that it's just scrims and it's the first week back from the holidays, so things can change from here to champs. But the one conclusion that we can pull from these scrims results is that Falcons are more confident and more comfortable than ever before, which is at the core of a team's success. So very excited to see the redemption arc. I don't know why I said that. That was so cringe. Holy. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the new changes and the uprise of Rampart, still Catalyst staying popular, Loba Mirage. And as for me, that's it for today's episode of your #1 ALGS morning show on the planet. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to turn on notifications on. New episode every Tuesday, except for last week. I'm so sorry again. It won't happen again. It didn't happen for a year, so it's not going to happen for next year again. Respawn stopped making changes without coming to see me first to let me know before I start scripting my morning shows. And until next week, I'll catch you guys then. If that didn't make sense, take it easy, like and subscribe. Posters. Which is at the core of a team's success. Which is at the core of a team's success. Which is at the core of a team's success. That was good.